Today, I want to talk about point and shoot film cameras and why every photographer needs one. If you're new here, my name is Sean Jorgensen, Sean Jorg if you came from TikTok or Instagram, and I'm a freelance creative based in Las Vegas, Nevada. I like talking all things photo and video, so let's get into it. Point and shoot film cameras. Why are we talking about them and why do I need one? The first and most important point I want to make about point and shoot film cameras is their size. They're small and they're compact. They are convenient to throw in your pocket, have around your neck. Or even tossed in a bag or fanny pack. When compared to a regular SLR like this one, or a full frame mirrorless camera like the R5, these are not easy to fit. Well, first of all, they're not going to fit in a pocket. So I don't know what kind of pockets you have, but they're not going to fit in a pocket. And they're not the easiest thing to lug around, especially with lenses that come on and off and size of them. For convenience purposes, size really does matter. The second point I want to make is ease of use. You don't need to be a professional to figure these out. I could hand one of these to my mom or my brother, and they could figure it out pretty fast. You just load the film, turn it on. That's turning it off. Turn it on, put it up to your face. Boom, fire off your photos. Pretty straightforward. You don't have to worry about focusing or exposure. Point it at the thing you wish to photograph, hit the button, you're good to go. I have, 5 cameras here. Some of these you open to turn on. Others you flick a dial. There's really only 2 things you need to worry about with point and shoot film cameras, and anyone could figure out is load the film correctly and make sure your flash is on in a dark situation or at night. If I'm out socializing with friends, getting coffee or drinks, and I want to document the fun, but I don't want to bring a bulky SLR or my mirrorless camera, then point and shoots are perfect. Boom, snap a photo. I can hand it to a stranger. It's as close as you're going to get to a cell phone in that regard, once you set it up for them. They also don't feel intrusive. If I am at a coffee shop with friends and I have one of these on me, I can just pull it out, take a photo, and it doesn't feel like, oh my God, there's a photo shoot, or who is this weirdo with a camera? It doesn't have the, oh, watch out, we have a professional in our midst vibe. It's also great for me personally for vacations. As you can imagine, my wife being married to a photographer is probably thinking, oh, great, now Sean's gonna have to pack a whole separate camera bag with lenses and memory cards and all of this stuff. And so these are great for that reason. Couple rolls of film, small camera, everyone's in a good mood about it. I have done that plenty of times in the past, and it just really does become a hassle and more of a burden. Worry about lugging around expensive cameras and lenses, keeping them safe, all of that madness. Yeah, I would be obviously bummed if I lost a camera or lost film from a trip, but I'm a lot less worried about a plastic camera and some film than my workhorse Canon R3 or Canon R5 or a lens. So these are a really good option. We're going on vacations to relax and live in the moment, and I'm not trying to be a landscape photographer while on vacation. The big, heavy, expensive stuff stays at home, and I throw a couple of these small guys in my bag. Usually try to limit it to 1. Bringing a small film camera with me allows me to scratch that itch of documenting, but it also allows me to live in the moment and enjoy my time with my friends, with my wife. Cost. Now, most of us are familiar with the film photography boom over the last couple of years and how expensive film and certain cameras have gotten. So luckily, point and shoots are relatively cheap option as far as finances go. Sorry if I keep looking over at my computer. I'm just trying to keep track of my notes and my thoughts. You can find point and shoot cameras at a relatively reasonable price, around $100 or less, excluding the obvious Contax T2. But yeah, for the most part, these other 4 I have here, I didn't spend over $100 on. And that's my good rule of thumb when I am looking. With them being relatively inexpensive, you can have a few in your rotation like I do here with these 5. You can have black and white in this one. Oh, this one's dead. Kodak color in this one. And who knows, maybe some Cinestill 800 in this one. Where to buy? I get asked this question quite a bit. And I'm about to drop some game on you. There are a few options, but first, a word from our sponsor. And we're back. KEH.com is a really good source for used gear. Everything that they get is tested and inspected. So that's a really good source. That's probably the most reliable source as far as, professionals getting gear and then testing it and all that good stuff that they do. I've gotten quite a few used things from KH. The second thing is local antique stores. I have found quite a bit of cameras, a less expensive option than KH or eBay, because most of the time they're just, older people that don't really know what they have or don't really care to make hand over fist like someone on eBay, which brings me to my third option. They probably have a little bit more wider selection because you can search for what you want, versus KEH may not have that, since it is whatever they have. It's only going to be if somebody sold it to them or selling it. eBay is third on the list as far as reliability, because eBay, buyer protection and all that stuff, but in general, people on there know what they have. Their prices tend to be pretty gouging. They can say it's tested and worked and you can get it, and it may not always be the case. So I think eBay is definitely a buyer beware option. The few antique stores I do frequent, the other sellers or the people working at the store do have a good relationship with the antiquers. Is that what they're called? It's always pretty reliable. And even one of the antique stores in particular, the guy has his cell phone number and email on his camera boot, so you could call him directly, which I've done, and talk to him about certain cameras or film or whatever he is selling. And he's pretty savvy. So I don't know about where you're at, but at least in Las Vegas, antique stores have been a really reliable source for me. The reason why I think that every photographer does need a point and shoot, whether you shoot film or not, these are a really good option for candid moments. Just to have it boom, boom, boom. I don't really have to worry about focusing or exposure. I just got to make sure I have the camera on and I hit that button when I want to hit it. That's about it for this video. I hope you found some good insight on why I really do love a point and shoot film camera, even if you're not using it for work, but just, like I said, hanging out with friends and just those fun, candid moments. As always, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.